contract. Cavaliers clear a little space, and James Harden re-signs with the Cavaliers 2 years plus a player option for a third year. With the Cavaliers 2 years plus a player option for a third year. Player option for a third year. So the Cavaliers make the big trade yesterday, big 5-team deal. Key in that is they end up getting Peyton Watson, the wing guy who wanted a wing guy. So they got a ring guy. That's a good thing. Wing guy, ring guy. If a wing guy can turn into a ring guy, you really got something there, Dan. And now James Harden returns to the team. You wonder about the James Harden contract. James is still a very good NBA player, but that's a lot of money for an older guy who, though I like him better as a fit for this team than I like Darius Garland, I still wonder, okay, you got two ball-dominant guards in the backcourt. What are you going to do?
This is the cost. This is the cost of the trade you made for Darius Garland. This is the cost you decided to go with. Would I have done this move? No way. But this is the cost. 3 years, $97 million. Player option on the third year. This is the cost. I mean, I hate to put it that way because the problems that I've always had with James Harden are the fact that, A, James Harden plays James Harden ball at James Harden pace. And I hope that Kenny Atkinson could get through to him that if this team is going to go where James Harden wants this team to go, which is to win a title, so then that way he doesn't have to listen to that for the rest of his career. He wants to win a title. The Cavs want to win a title. The problem is Kenny Atkinson is going to need to get through to James Harden that we can't just live life playing high screen and roll basketball until the end of time with you playing with the ball in your hand going pound, 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 then kicking it to Donovan Mitchell to go pound, 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 pound. Like, that's the part of this that I hope has been explained to James Harden, that if you want to win a title, you need to evolve.
Just over $32 million a year on average if he picks up his third year option.
You ready for this? This is according to Sham Charania. Harden's career earnings now reach $511 million, making him the fourth player in NFL history to eclipse $500 million.
NBA.
In the NBA, joining the 76ers, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry.
Well, that's a nice how do you do?
Yeah, it's good work if you have the skill.
It's good work to... They always said the best part about basketball is that you can get better by yourself because all you need is a ball and a hoop.
And you can.
And good for him. Good for him. Good for him to be able to do it. Jeff, where do you think this puts the Cavaliers? Do you like this move?
Honestly, Dano, I thought when they made the Garland trade, for some reason it just immediately struck me that, okay, they're clearing Darius's money off the books. Harden's deal is up. He will leave, and they'll have that money to use on somebody else. I did not envision James Harden becoming a part of this long term. And by long term, I mean during this run with Donovan Mitchell. To me, it's all in focus now. Donovan signs his contract extension. What was his? 4 years, $290 some odd million or whatever, 260. And he's under contract through 2031. They've given up control, basically, of all of their draft choices in the first round. I think they have one of them. They have the 2030 pick, but they traded the 2031. So you're not really going to, and you do have another first-round pick that you traded the best pick of the two with Utah. And so you would assume that Cavs do what they're supposed to do. They keep their own pick. But I believe there's still, so now 3 more first-round picks that are off the board. Okay. As long as you have an owner who's willing to spend money like crazy, you can fill out a team. And that's okay. I get that. And a first-round pick means you only get one a year. Well, what happens if you get to 2030 and that pick, Donovan, something happens to Donovan, blah, 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 and all of a sudden your team is sitting in the top 7 and that's the painful part. But again, you can go out and you can sign free agents, and Toby Altman's not afraid to make trades and big trades, and he's made good trades. But I think tying yourself to a player at James' age is tough. His style of play can be tough. I think it's up to Kenny Atkinson to make it work. But he's got to make it work. James has to play, and James got paid. So I would think that James would be willing to do whatever it took to make this team as powerful and successful as it possibly can be. And he's done that before in his career. So I'm anxious to see what they come up with additions to the team. And again, Peyton Watson's not, he's not going to be your first option. He's not your second option. He's not your third option. He might not even be the fourth option in the offense. And I'm real anxious to see what other young guys come along, because I think they're a little light in the backcourt now.
My money goes further at Dollar General with thousands of items to save on every week. Digital coupons, instant savings, and cash back. My card's working overtime, but my wallet's chill.
Helping your money do more every day. Dollar General.
For most women, hormones only become a focus when something starts to feel off. Irregular cycles, anxiety, fatigue, poor sleep. This is when hormones are labeled out of balance. But hormones don't just randomly fail. They respond to signals. You see, most standard hormone tests give you a single snapshot in time. They tell you what levels look like, but not how hormones are being used, metabolized, how they're cleared. This is where the Dutch test comes in. It shows how estrogen is being metabolized, how cortisol moves across the day, and how stress, detox pathways, and progesterone are actually interacting. It shows the signals, not just the numbers, which is what we want to focus on. Doing the test doesn't replace the reset. It helps confirm which signals need support first. When you support the signals, your hormones do the adjusting for you. Now let's talk about where the support starts with step number 1, which is For most women, hormones only become a focus when something starts to feel off. Irregular cycles, PMS, anxiety, fatigue, weight gain, poor sleep. This is when hormones are labeled out of balance and handled with supplements without a true explanation.
But with plenty of options in the backcourt. And that means just somebody has to step up and be really good. And hopefully somebody can to help out Mitchell and Harden.
And I think they have that level of talent to do it. Like, anytime I've watched Craig Porter, I've always found myself wanting to see more.
Yeah, I like Craig. Yeah. I think he's done a nice job.
And
it's about time.
Yeah.
They signed him to a contract. When they brought in Schroeder, I kind of thought, well, you signed Porter. You don't like Craig enough yet? Well, maybe now they do. Maybe they love Malik Thomas. Maybe they think Malik's going to be a backup point guard.
You were screaming for toughness. I mean, everybody was screaming for toughness. Dennis Schroeder brings toughness. That's the one thing he brings, on top of the fact that he's another guy that every time he steps on the floor, he believes he's the best player out there.
Which I loved.
Oh, yeah. But you can see why
Schroeder's tough, man.
Absolutely. But you can see how that philosophy would rub teams the wrong way. We'll say that.
Well, he's been on, 12 of them?
Exactly.
Something.
But I knew from the beginning when they made the trade that there was no way that this was just going to be a half season and done. Especially when you start hearing things like waiving trade kickers and whatever else would come with it. You're like, okay, you're signing up for this. And this is it, folks. This is the all-in move. This is your chips are in the middle of the table. Your team going into this Eastern Conference is going to be Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Peyton Watson, Sam Merrill, and Jalen Tyson. Thank you.
Mario Hezonja.
And whoever else is out there. This is it. Because all of the major assets that you could have moved around have now been allocated.
Yeah.
And so this is the team. And I am fascinated to see if this team is going to be able to conquer the 7 games against the Raptors that they had last year and be able to turn that, into a 5-game series. Will this group be able to not have the Detroit series turn into 7 games and turn that into a 5-game series? So then that way, if you find your way to the Eastern Conference Finals again, we're not all looking at each other going, well, they're clearly just out of gas.
Do they have enough depth in the backcourt? And I'm going to put Jalen Tyson in the backcourt. Jalen Tyson, Craig Porter, young guy, though he's played okay, still unproven in a bigger role. Malik Thomas, 19, 20-year-old rookie who looked great in the summer league, but that's good for him. Hopefully he can be a player. I like Sam Merrill. Is Tyrese Proctor going to be anything? I mean, is he going to be a rotation guy who can handle the ball? I think they could use a little depth in the backcourt. But I wonder if they have it and it's not yet quite developed. For instance, Jalen Tyson and Malik Thomas certainly could become that guy. But remember, Malik Thomas was the second-round pick. I hate to pin that on draft position, but draft position in the NBA, even if you're a later pick, it usually means, okay, he will need time to develop. Not always. It's not always the case. For instance, everybody's giddy about Peyton Watson, right? Cavs getting him in the trade. Mm-hmm. And I understand. I like the move. He was the 30th pick in the draft. And so he was the last guy taken in the first round of the draft. Took him some time. 4 years in, he had a good year and he cashed in. How can he build on that? Do the Cavs have enough in the backcourt? I wonder that a little bit. Do they have enough depth at forward? You got rid of Max Strus, who could play guard. Max could play a little small forward for you. But signed Hazonia. You have Cam Whitmore right now. But if you're going to waive him and stretch out that that salary, does that mean you're still going to go out and try and bring in Jonathan Kuminga?
I don't know if he can under the cap, though.
If he accepted a veteran minimum, good.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know.
That's an how the mighty have fallen.
Right. That's not what he wants. DeMar DeRozan.
So I guess the Nuggets are interested in bringing him in after making the trade.
I would understand that.
So would I. Except if I were them, I would also be talking to Kuminga too.
But if you're the Cavs, you okay with your depth in the front court being Hazonia, Cam Whitmore, who might not be here because you're going to waive him, Naquan Tomlin, Thomas Bryant, Ernest Uday?
If you're watching this, I hope you feel free to be yourself. Love you guys so much. Here I go. Because I want to feel like it's me and them.
You love that.
I love that.
Seems a little light, doesn't it?
Especially, all right. So one of my favorite things to do when I'm evaluating a roster is the great line of 15 players get you there, 8 win you the thing, win you the title.
Yeah.
Right? That's always kind of the thought coaches have had. 15 guys get you there.
Who are your 8 that win you this title?
All right, so I'm at 7.
You're starting 5.
Harden, Mitchell, Allen, Mobley, Watson. Okay, so that's the 5.
Yes, you're
You're
starting
locked
5.
in there. I trust Merrill. I trust Tyson.
That's 7.
And I don't know who the 8th is.
That's correct.
Do you agree?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So
that's why I say I think they might be a little light.
So during this season of 82, you need to figure out who your 8th is.
And
That's
probably
goal 1.
And probably 9th and 10 because you can't bank on everybody staying healthy.
Good point.
Thanks.
So you're going to need to figure those out. And the problem with doing this is that none of those guys that are in that 8 are in the front court.
Yeah, their front court seems a little light.
I think that's the concern. I can live through Porter Jr. at backup point guard. I can try to make it work with Proctor. I can try to make it work with whomever else there. They need one more
I
pick.
want to see what Malik Thomas can bring me.
I want to see Malik Thomas too. They need one more pick. I think that's where I would look next. The problem is I don't know who you're going to go get.
And if you get rid of Cam Whitmore, which, I understand financially, maybe that's something they think they have to do or they do have to do. I would think he would be in my top 8.
Yeah.
If he was healthy and here, but apparently he's not going to be.
And that guy that I'm looking for is not a top tier awesome guy coming off of the bench either that's going to be there. I mean, for lack of better terminology, and maybe this is too far into the weeds, find me Bismack Biyombo. Like, if you can get me someone who could
That'd be phenomenal.
just grab boards and block shots,
That's
done.
Of course.
Sign me up.
That would be perfect.
That's exactly who needs to be here. Now, I don't know who that guy is in the modern NBA right now who's still floating out there who could fill the Bismack Biyombo role of just run around, block shots, grab boards, let's go.
That would be phenomenal.
But that's exactly what they need. The way that Kevon Looney used to always do that for the
Golden
Warriors
State.
back in the day. Yep.
All right, so the Cavs, we've been waiting forever for them to do something. It's been a terrible offseason so far. They've done nothing of significance. Well, now they have. They finally recovered from LeBron not picking to come back to Cleveland. There's 2 players we've been talking about for weeks, and the Cavs have acquired one of them. To break it all down, here's our very own Mikey McNuggets.
But they finally made a major impact move this offseason, trading Max Strus from the 2031 unprotected first-round pick to separate teams. Strus going to the Clippers, the unprotected pick going to the Denver Nuggets in exchange for Peyton Watson. I absolutely love this deal for Cleveland for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, Peyton Watson is a player with a ton of upside. He started playing basketball late in his career. He got better and better each year. He was in Denver playing alongside some other really talented offensive weapons like Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. He got kind of pushed to the side early, but really flourished this most recent season. In games without Jokic, where he had to take on a bigger offensive role, he averaged over 22 points a game in 14 contests, showcasing his improvement as an on-ball creator and as a shot creator. But to play alongside Nikola Jokic, you have to be able to be an offensive threat without the ball because he demands so much attention and has such a high usage rate. That's why Watson, I think, fits in perfectly into this Cavs system. Playing alongside Jokic, he learned how to cut. He learned how to get open. He learned how to read defenses, which is something the Cavs' 5th starter playing alongside Donovan and James or playing along just one of them in those ancillary secondary lineups is a key skill for a wing guy to have because they're not going to have many opportunities to put the ball in their hand. He's also not just a good, not a great, an elite corner three-point shooter. Last season, he ranked in the 97th percentile in the entire NBA on corner threes. What do we say a million times about Dean Wade? I don't care who the 5th starter is, that person's going to stand in the corner and shoot threes. Well, very few people, like literally less than 10 people in the entire league, were more efficient from the corner than Peyton Watson. He shot 52% from the corner on threes last season. He's a long, lanky, athletic perimeter player. So long are the days that the Cavs have no wings over 6'7". Peyton Watson, 6'8", athletic, long arms, projects as a versatile defender. And although the Cavs had to extend it, a 4-year, $88 million deal, $22 million per, it's a little pricey for the player Peyton Watson is right now, but it could be a bargain for the player Peyton Watson could become in a few years if he continues on this upward trajectory. The Cavs are banking on Peyton Watson's upside, and it's a risk I think is 100% worth taking when you had so limited assets to acquire other talented players at premium positions elsewhere. Losing Max Strus hurts. I understand it. They are not as good of a three-point shooting team today as they were 12 hours ago before the trade, but they're more athletic, they're more versatile, they're more flexible, and they're a more, importantly, defensively capable team now than they were prior to this trade. Another fun facet, we talked about the one big lineup and how last year they didn't have the wings to really play it. Well, now you can go James, Donovan, Jalen Tyson at the 3, Peyton Watson at the 4, and even Evan Mobley or Jared Allen at the 5. Now, that intrigues me a ton. Watson's volume increased this last season. The Cavs are banking on that trajectory and that potential to come to fruition in Cleveland alongside some other really smart players. And it's a smart bet because of all the options out there, the Kumingas, the DeRozans, the Watsons, all of the names throughout the summer, none of them had as much upside as Peyton Watson. And he proved he could be a talented contributor on a Western Conference threat with the Denver Nuggets. And now he's going to have a chance to do it in the Eastern Conference with the Cleveland Cavaliers. This move does not put them right to the top of the Eastern Conference, but it certainly makes them more competitive today than they were earlier today prior to the Strus in an unprotected first hurts. Peyton Watson's a heck of a grab, and I think he fits in perfectly with what Kenny Atkinson and this offense wants to do. Now, the other part of the deal, they traded Trey Mann. They got Cam Whitmore back. Whitmore's a guy who was a high prospect coming out of college. He felt that his 19th pick, I believe, huge thing, has been up and down, never really found his role. Maybe the Cavs can get him on the right track and bring something out of the talented player he is, but wouldn't count on a ton from Cam Whitmore, but at least he's another wing you could fix into the rotation and theoretically gives you another body on the perimeter to guard bigger wings defensively and give you a little 3-and-D spacing. But Peyton Watson's the crown jewel of this trade. It's not Cam Whitmore. It is Peyton Watson. And get ready, because he's a guy, a young athlete who has a chance to flourish here in Cleveland. The Cavs have no more first-round picks to trade. They are out of assets unless they turn Jared Allen into something else. This is their team moving forward. And this team with Peyton Watson is not necessarily the top in the East, but I do think this elevates them out of the muck of the middle into that second class, which I'm not sure they were in prior to this deal. I give Kobe Altman in the front office a ton of credit. Not an easy move to pull the trigger on, not an easy move to make, but they did it. And last but not least, give James Harden credit. His patience, his willingness to be flexible on his money allowed the Cavs to make this move. So I know we've called James Harden a selfish player in the past. He's been about himself. He's been about his money. In this instance, he deserves a ton of credit for not forcing the Cavs' hand, letting them play this out, letting them slow play the situation to come to the best possible outcome for all parties involved. It's a very, very exciting day if you're a Cavaliers fan. It's a very exciting time for Peyton Watson as he joins this Cavaliers roster.
This is work. But this is Furniture Row. And during the Labor Day sale, save $100 on every $1,000 you spend on living, dining, bedroom, and mattresses. The Labor Day sale on now at Furniture Row.
All right, here's the breakdown from Mikey McNuggets, guys. I heard Lima this morning on his show. I saw a clip talking about it. He's a big NBA fan also, and he liked it. I mean, it sounds like a really good move. Mike said it was risky. I don't know that. I mean, I guess if they're terrible in 2030, he gave up a draft pick. But, who cares at this point? And Max Strus, nice player, but it looks like I didn't realize he averaged 22 points a game in 14 games. Jokic didn't play.
Yes.
That's really impressive. It sounds like a good deal. I'm actually a little excited about the Cavs for the first time in a while. What say you guys?
Well, listen, the thing that really jumps off the page that I like is, he's 6'8", 7'1" wingspan. One of my big problems is every single playoff series we had to try Max Strus out there. Max Strus is a serviceable defender, but 6'5" going against wings, especially Jaylen Brown, and you got guys like that, and Tatum and Paul George, and all these big wings, and you got 6'5". It's not going to work like that. So now you got a legitimate wing that's 6'8", that 7 wingspan. He's a good, weak side shot blocker. He almost averaged a block on his weak side defense. So you got a dude that I think can turn into a very, I would say, competitive wing defender in the playoffs. Is he going to be a superstar? No, but that's not what they're looking for. That's not the thing that they're looking at. They need defense, guys that can hit corner threes, and guys who can make a shot when it needs to be done in the playoffs, especially from the corner and especially shooting threes. If you can average somewhere about 38, 39% from the three-point arc and consistently be a wing defender, I think it makes a lot of sense for them. They had to make this move because I think McNuggets is correct. This puts them back, in my mind, in that second tier where they got a puncher's chance in some of these playoffs, especially when you're playing the Knicks or the Sixers or teams like that. You got better defensively, you got longer, and I like the front court when you talk about Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, and then now a guy who has a 7'1" wingspan. You become a pretty good defensive squad.
I think right here, Bull, on August 20th, 2026, all that matters to the Cavs is how the Browns perform during practice. No, all that matters to the Cavs is right now, this season and next. They're not worried about 2030, right? And they got a younger player. So the optics of the whole thing were bad, mostly because they didn't get LeBron. But they never were going to be in frontline moves here. And that wasn't salary reasons whether LeBron was a free agent or not. So you didn't get LeBron, and he signed minimum, he came to the East. All of that stinks. You got a player here who's 18 years younger than LeBron, right? You got a player who has upside, and I think of all the things Mike said, the fit is most important. He has been best away from the ball. You bringing back James Harden, you bringing back Donovan Mitchell, those guys have to play, right? He's a legit 6'8". Max Strus is not even a legit 6'5". I love Max Strus. I don't think this team gets better losing him. However, the realities of an NBA financial situation is always an expiring. The Cavs always had to wait their turn. They made the Schroeder move. They made the Strus move. They got a young player who fits what they need on the offensive end and on the defensive end. It's about the playoffs. Peyton Watson makes them a better playoff team.
Yeah, and I think, again, I didn't know much about him before the last couple of weeks, but from what I heard from people who know better than me, like Mike, it seems like they can get the offensive production from Strus and the defensive production from Wade in one player.
Yeah.
Maybe
And the link.
and with more size, or at least more size than Strus.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it seems like he's a good fit, and eventually, when Harden's gone and maybe even Mitchell's gone, the new iteration of the Cavs, whatever that looks like, and it might be bad for a while, of him and Evan Mobley being, and Jalen Tyson.
If there's one thing that before we go that I think we need to put in the air is one of the weaknesses of his game is he's not a creator. He's not, look at his assist, and you look at his ability to just take the ball and be a creator of his own shot. That's not his game. But one of the deficiencies is we still wait for Evan Mobley to be able to do that too.
Yeah.
Jared Allen is not going to do that. Right. So you're still counting on guys like James Harden and Donovan Mitchell to be the creators on your team, which it has not panned out the way we wanted it the last 3 or 4 years. So they're still going to need guys to be able to find some creativity.
The upside of why you hadn't heard much about Peyton Watson is he played 1 year in college. He averaged 3.3 points per game. Right, he's made himself a better player, and obviously he was with these headline guys, a championship level team,
Right.
in Denver. The downside is he wasn't healthy for the playoffs, but he did have his best season. He's taken steady progressions in the areas that Cavs need. He blocked shots. He makes corner threes. 24 years old, I think, in the league. So this is good. And again, he'll be on the team for at least 2 years, probably even 4. But this team is not thinking about 4 years. This team has a 2-year window, and now has made its first set of moves, not in the first wave, not even the second wave of free agency. Now we see how it goes